and welcome back to the LizX YouTube channel. I'm your host Liz, and today we have a special video because we're going to be breaking down all of these books by Natasha Preston, and we're going to be ranking them from my favorite to what, I love them all, but you know, there's got to be a ranking for all of them. They can't all be number one. So let's go over them, do an overview, and we'll rank them as we go. Let's do this thing. So how these rankings work is I'm just going to pull a random book from the pile next to me because I can't, they're not serious or anything. We're going to read the back. I'm going to tell you my rating out of 5 stars, and then I'm going to let you know out of 1 through 10 which ones are on my ranking. 1 being the best, 10 being not the worst, but I would say probably like forgettable in my opinion. But that's my own opinion. You guys have all your own opinions, and that's what makes the book talk family just so not controversial. Oh my god. No, we don't want to be controversial. We have a very wide spread of opinions, and we accept each other for those opinions. So we're going to start off with You Will Be Mine by, you guys know who it's by because I already said who it's by. I recommend her books a lot, so whenever I say the title, I always say her author name right after. So if that slips up, I apologize. I can't help it. But this is You Will Be Mine by Natasha Preston. Kind of a shorter, they're not shorter reads. They're about 300 pages each, which, I mean, could be like a moderate in the middle type of book. It's not 600 or 200. It's a very good, just like in the middle read when you're transitioning, and especially when I tell this to people who are trying to get into the thriller horror genre, always go with Natasha Preston because her books will easily transition you while giving you the same amount of thrill, horror, anxiety. But You Will Be Mine. So You Will Be Mine says, Love turns deadly. Roses are red, violets are blue. Watch your back, I'm coming for you. Lila and her friends can't wait to spend a night out together, partying in the perfect way to let loose from the stress of life and school. And Lila hopes that hitting the dance floor with Chase, her best friend, will bring them closer. She's been crushing on him since they met. If only he thought the same way about her. The girls are touching up their makeup and the guys are sliding on their coats when the doorbell rings. No one is there. An envelope sits on the doormat. It's an anonymous note addressed to their friend Sunny. A secret admirer? Maybe. They all laugh it off, except Sunny never comes home, and a new note arrives. Your turn. See, I feel like this is one of the backs of her books that actually pulls people, because I really like the idea of this being a Valentine's Day horror story. I love it so much, and this actually has been my #1 read ever since I was in high school. Every Valentine's Day I reread it just because I love it that much. So 1 out of 10, this is at spot #1, and it is a 5 out of 5 for me. Solid 5 out of 5, 100%. One I always recommend to anybody. The next one I just pulled off actually incorporates one of my biggest fears in my entire life, and that is water. Open water. I don't go in the ocean. I don't go into lakes. No, because you don't know what's down there, and we're talking about the island, all right? The island, in my opinion, I will be honest, I did not have high hopes when I was first going into this book, okay? I was kind of confused at first, and I'll show you, I'll read the back and you can understand like what I'm talking about. Jagged Island, a private amusement park for the very rich, or the very influential. Liam, James, Will, Ava, Harper, and Paisley, social media influencers with millions of followers, have been invited for an exclusive weekend before the park opens. They'll create posts and videos for their channels and report every second of their VIP treatment. When the teens arrive, they're stunned. The resort is even better than imagined. Their hotel rooms are unreal, and the park's theme rides ideas are incredible. And the island is hauntingly beautiful. Their jam-packed schedules seem to cover every moment of their visit. But then they realize someone's missing, getting off the island alive. Now, part 1 of why I thought that I did not have high hopes going into this, this book. I thought, okay, maybe it was just like a classic someone snuck onto the island and started going after each other. I was so wrong because the whole plot twist among plot twists among plot twists in this entire thing, and how cold-blooded this killer actually is, was shocked me 100%. And extra point, because one of the the influencers is a book talker. She incorporated a book talker. She sees us, guys. She sees us. And I actually did a video on my TikTok. This is kind of besides the point, but I did a video on my TikTok, and Natasha actually commented on it, and I screamed when I saw it. But, you know, besides the point, me geeking out for no reason. But the island, in my opinion, was so good. We were robbed of a side character, and one of the other side characters literally made me want to strangle her because she was so annoying. You have those certain annoying people, and then even when she passed away, I was like, you're still being annoying because she wouldn't shut up. But, you know, that's what we love about different types of characters, because she knows how to make a character annoying. Okay, you grow personalities with all these people, all right? But the island, in my opinion, was really good. I will give it a 5 out of 5 once again, and this one's gonna go onto my number 4 spot, because come on, I couldn't even ask for anything better. The entire time I was reading this and like a water scene came up, I was like slight anxiety attack. Moving on. This next one really is on the lower parts of my list. Not the lowest, but The Dare. This did come out this year. Don't get me wrong, it was a great book. I really did enjoy it. I liked the concept idea of it. So The Dare is, would you accept the dare? In Marley's town, high school seniors must perform a prank as a rite of passage. A dare, you would say. The dares start out simple. Egging houses, throwing balloons filled with glitter, letting chickens loose in the halls. But this is no child's play. Accepting a dare means you could be expelled, arrested, or worse. No one wants to back down from a dare, but saying yes has its consequences too. Now, the back kind of pulled me at first because I'm like, okay, what could this possibly be? And it had its good points. I will say it did have its good points. And like I said, it wasn't a horrible book. None of these books are horrible by means. They're just not my taste of thriller horror when I was reading it. I thought some were stronger. But then again, I did love the characters. The one dare that really screwed everybody over in this, I did like the idea of that. I did like that one. If I was in this situation, I would be moving. I would transfer schools. In the last week of graduation, I would. No, I am not going to jail because of someone's stupid dare that they gave me. So not happening. But the dare, unfortunately, is down. I want to say, we'll put it at 8 because it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. I promise it wasn't horrible. It was just, I liked her other ones better. But definitely The Dare is a good book to read if that is your type of genre that you enjoy. But yes, number 8. Okay. Next one on the list is The Haunting. So The Haunting, she actually came out with this last year. Yes. Natasha came out with this in 2023. So The Haunting is haunted by the past, terrified by the present. Penny knows she must forget about her ex, Nash. Ever since his father was related to a brutal serial killer who traumatized their small town last Halloween, Penny's parents have forbidden her to have anything to do with Nash or his family. Reasonable. It's hard not to think of him, but she's trying. That stops when she goes shopping with friends for a costume. What she finds instead, after ripping up from a horror movie, someone from school bleeding out on the floor in the dressing room. Stabbed. People are quick to blame Nash and his sister Grace, but as Halloween nears and the body count rises, Penny can't help thinking that this copycat killer is someone no one else suspects. Now, I really enjoyed this one. This one was a really good read, in my opinion. It had a lot of factors that I liked, the small town. It kind of reminded me of the Harvest movie. I don't know if you've watched that, but it's like this small town where the entire town is cursed, quote unquote cursed. But I thought the kills in this one were really good. And honestly, I liked the characters. I really liked the relationship between Nash and Penny, and I really liked how everything was portrayed, how they were exiled. And don't even get me started on the plot twist. Don't even get me started, because this plot twist, I was like, are you joking? I didn't even think about that until I read it, and then I reread it, and I'm like, oh my god, it was his. Not even gonna say. It was them. I'll say them the whole time. This is not a spoiler video, but it was them the entire time. So, knowing that this one was actually in my top, but some of them I like more than others, I will put this one at 5 because it is a really good read and I really enjoyed it. Alright, next book. The Twin. Okay. This one, in my opinion, was not my favorite. So, The Twin, Ivy and Iris haven't lived together for years. When their mother and father divorced, each parent got custody of one twin. But after a tragic accident takes their mom's life, the devastated sisters are reunited, and Iris moves in with Ivy and her father. Iris takes their mom's death especially hard. She barely talks, spends hours alone in her room. Ivy can't stand to see Iris so sad. She promised Iris that they can share her life now. After all, they're sisters, twins. It's a promise that Iris takes seriously, and before long, Ivy's friends, her teachers, and even her boyfriend fall under Iris's spells. Soon, Ivy begins to think there's something wrong with her twin. It's almost like Iris is out to get her. Ivy tells herself she's being paranoid. It's not like she's in any danger from her twin. So, okay, we've seen this plot line a lot where the twin comes to live with the family, the twin wants to take over the other twin's life. And in my opinion, it just wasn't the strongest of Natasha's books. It was a good book, don't get me wrong, but it was very kind of forgettable in my opinion. Like, I haven't even reread this in a while because it just doesn't do anything for me. Which makes me kind of sad because I do like this plot line of everything. But, you know, like I said, opinions are opinions. It is a good book, but I'm so sad that I really have to put this at number 9. And I'm so sorry. This one reminds me of the movie Midsommar, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And that is Awake. Awake, in my opinion, was a really, really, really good one. I could talk about this book for hours because it in my opinion, had so many, like, intricate details. So, of course, the dress was white. This is what I'm supposed to die in. I thought not many people knew what their last outfit would be. I pulled it over my head. It fits me perfectly. It had a long, loose-fitting sleeves, a modest neckline, and waves of material on the skirt. I hated it. There were also no shoes, but I was afraid I'd have to run through the forest barefoot, and there weren't a lot of options. Besides, I'd run barefoot over a bed of nails to get away. "Scarlett, are you ready?" he called. I looked in the mirror and took a deep breath. Time to fight for my life. Scarlett Gardner doesn't remember anything from before the age of 4, but a car accident changes everything. She starts to remember pieces of her past that frighten her, a past her parents hid from her, and a secret that could get her killed. When we were talking about betrayals, one of the biggest betrayals is in this book, and I will never... We find out the betrayal very early, but our main character doesn't know the betrayal, so we know before she knows, and the entire time you're screaming at the book saying, girl, no, don't trust that person, don't trust this person. So, in my opinion, Awake was very, very good, because I will say it does involve a cult, so already that should be pulling you in. And I will say that a lot of the practices that Natasha has put in here actually are real things of certain beliefs of certain cults. So I really did like that. I liked the incorporation of it all. I liked it a lot, actually. And she truly just did an amazing job with this book. It's just like The Cellar and it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, I think that it was a very good book and it brought a lot of perspectives in. She also had some really good quotes in this one, and I highlight quotes in my horror books because I'm that person. Definitely top 3, so this is going at number 3. Down to our final 3 books, and the next one is The Lost. Another one of my favorite books. I want this to be a movie so bad because this book, in my opinion, was so betrayal filled. Once again, the betrayals. What's with Natasha giving us betrayals? But, you know, whatever. And so The Lost, in my opinion, was a really, really, really good one. So let's read. I can't talk today, guys. I feel the atmosphere change. My back is still at the door, but I hear a loud clang. I stumble to the step and grab Hazel's wrist. What's going on? I muttered. Caleb's voice rips through the speakers. Piper and Hazel, welcome to the game. In Piper's hometown, teenagers keep disappearing, and everyone assumes that they're just a bunch of runaways. But when yet another person vanishes, Piper and her best friend Hazel suspect something more sinister is going on. So they decide to investigate. Determined to learn the truth, they search for answers that leads them to the source of the missing people and their captors. Piper and Hazel suddenly find themselves locked away in a secluded building in the middle of a privately owned forest. But the building isn't the only thing that meant to keep them imprisoned. Every room is a test to see if they can make it out alive. And failure means being lost forever. So I actually did a video on my TikTok about if I would survive this book. And I honestly think I could, because this book, each room is a test of your mental state of things. Like there's heat, water, and sound, light. And I feel like I could pass all those, but I really liked the idea of how, like, this is just happening under everybody's noses. Nobody's not even questioning it. Loved it so much. You know, I hate to put this at number 6, but I already filled up the other slots. So number 6 goes to The Lost. Next one is, I'm already going to give it a spoiler, guys, is already in the 10th spot, and that's The Lake. Now, I don't even remember when I read this book. I remember I read it, and it just honestly was not my favorite, and that makes me sad because I really like the concept of summer camp vibes, like summer camp horror thriller. Like we have The Quarry, that it's a video game style. We have Friday the 13th, and I was looking for the intensity of that. Now, I know that each author to their own. People probably really like this one. It just wasn't my favorite of Natasha's. So, welcome to Camp Pine Lake, where the only thing scarier than a ghost story is the past, coming to haunt you. Esme and Kayla once were campers at Camp Pine Lake. Now they're back as counselors in training. Esme loves the little girls in her cabin and thinks it's funny how scared they are of everything. Woods, bugs, the boys, even swimming in the lake. Reminds her of how she and Kayla used to be before. Because Esme and Kayla did something terrible when they were campers. Something they've kept a secret for all these years. They vowed that this is the summer that will be awesome. 2 months of sun, s'mores, and flirting with the cute boy counselors. Then they get the message. The lake never forgets. The secret they've kept buried for so many years is about to resurface. Now, I don't think I liked it that much because we found out what the secret was and we knew who the killer was immediately. And when I did my 4 Found Dead video, I said it's hard when we already know who the killer is and you gotta build it up, in my opinion. And that's why this one was kind of lower on my list. So, sorry, Natasha, it's going at number 10, but I did like it. I did read it. I did finish it. And I will not finish books if I don't like them. So, honestly, this one's going at number 10, but still love it. So, we only have 1 spot left, and that's spot number 7. And this makes me sad to put this book in it because, like I said, I love all of Natasha's books, but the fear, honestly, I think that this concept, she portrayed it so well. So, the fear, be afraid, be terrified. It's just a stupid meme that's going around their small fishing town in the dead of winter. People reposting and sharing their biggest fears. But when her classmates start turning up dead, dying in the way they said scared them the most, Izzy knows it's no joke. With each death hitting closer to home, Izzy sets up to stop the killer. Could her older sister's friend Tristan be involved somehow? He's given her strange vibes. Or maybe his brooding cousin Axel and he's in her class at school. He's not a murderer, is he? Izzy is so soon on a path that will lead her right to the killer and her own worst nightmare. I thought it was such a good portrayal of things, especially with how we are in high school. I graduated in 2021, all right? So I know that a lot of stuff is reposting. Social media was a huge thing. And honestly, if a meme was going around my school asking me how I would want to die, I would be like, no, thank you. No, thank you. We've already established from a couple clips ago that I am terrified of water, and I am not doing that. If someone has a big enough grudge against me to want to kill me for their own pleasure. Not happening, okay? I am nice to everyone. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be a part of it. So no meme for me. Also, she gave me one of my favorite side characters of all time, and guess what she did? Broke my heart. She's always breaking my heart, yet I love her so much. So yeah, sadly, it has to go into the 7th place, but all these books, like I said, are so dear to my heart, and I love them all so much. It's just the ranking of how much I love them. So I will say that I am currently rereading another one of Natasha's books, and that is The Cabin. So I didn't include it in this video because I felt like I'm still reading halfway through it of rereading because I haven't reread it in so long. So I didn't think I should put it in the ranking yet. So don't worry. Don't worry. I didn't forget. I have it. It's in my work backpack and I'm going to go read it. But I love Natasha's books more than anything. Her as an author has inspired me a lot, especially when my own writing career things. I even wrote my first horror book this year and I published it and I love it so much. She has inspired me so much, and the fact that she sees my videos and she comments on my videos, and every time she does, I geek out. Every time I geek out, okay? I just love her. I love her writing and everything. So what did you guys think? Because I love to hear your opinions. Like I said, that's why book talk is so widely spread and happy and accepting, because we all have our own opinions, and that's okay. We can talk about books that we personally didn't like, but others might, and we can compare notes, and that's that. So what did you guys think? I love you all so much, and I hope you are having a great day. Stay warm, because it's supposed to snow here in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania's like that, I guess. Anyway, guys, I love you so much. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!